G'day fellas, welcome to a casted game, spawning in the west of the map, playing as the Deli. It's the first time we're covering him on the channel. It is Nilly from GL. This gentleman is teammates with the Viper, teammates with Doubt, teammates with a lot of good players, so watch out for this guy. He's going to be starting by opening up with a mill on the berries, going to be buffing up those berries. For anybody unfamiliar with the Deli, so not only do the Deli get a nice little bonus when they're actually gathering up their berries, but what they also get is this weird little mill bonus, which isn't mentioned anywhere, where their berry bushes get doubled. So they get these nice cute little fences around them. So if you go take a look at the map, any of the other berry bushes are just going to have 250 out of 250 in them, but the Deli berries get 500 out of 250, so a nice pickup. So going to take a look over at his opponent's side of the map, we've got Miyasawa. Now, I'm probably pronouncing that incorrectly. I don't actually know how to pronounce that, so we're just going to go with Mace. I think that's probably the best pronunciation, Mace. So that is him. He is going to be playing the French. Now, I know there's going to be a lot of resident sleepers in the chat for the French, but the good news is we do have Deli in this game, and we're going to be taking a look at exactly what Nilly is going to be doing with his Deli. So let's take a look. Starting off with a Mosque, going to be getting that efficient production and then sanctity. So a little bit of a strange, well, not strange reversal, but an interesting opening here. Opening up with the efficient production first. Typically, we do see players go out for sanctity as the first research. Now, one thing to note is that Mosques do have the ability to train scholars. These guys are expensive, 150 gold, but your first Mosque that you place down is going to be giving you that scholar for free. You can see it sitting in there, right there, chilling out. With regard to the Deli, they don't actually pay for any of their upgrades. So these upgrades here, they don't actually cost resources, they just simply cost time. So already we can see silly Nilly getting a wheelbarrow here, and it is a great choice for him. So it's going to take some time for it to come through, but keep in mind, it's free. So definitely a great economic civilization, the Deli. So one of the things to talk about as well is looking at their age up options. They've got two primary options. The first one is the Tower of Victory. The second one is the Dome of the Faith. So in every single circumstance, people are going to be going up with the Dome of the Faith. And the reason why is because at the moment, the Tower of Victory is actually bugged. So it's not working perfectly. It should be, but it's not. And partly, so as an example, it doesn't affect men-at-arms. It also just affects units in a really weird way. So crossbowmen get reduced by a strange amount compared to hand cannoneers. It's just it's a silly landmark, let's just say that much. Dome of the Faith is going to be reducing the cost of those scholars down. They are quite expensive, 150 gold. The problem with that is that because it's so expensive, you really do want to go for that other landmark, which is the Dome of the Faith. So it only really gives you one option. You can see Nilly's just rallied a villager here, going to be dropping down his landmark with this villager. There it goes. He's going for a Tower of Victory. Well, this is quite curious. So we haven't actually seen a Tower of Victory with Deli before. In fact, I don't think in any matchup ever I've seen a Tower of Victory go down other than like a meme build. So I don't know whether Nilly's doing a bit of a meme build at the moment. Now, Nilly's nickname is Silly Nilly. I'm going to leave a link in the description as well as in the pinned comments over to Nilly's YouTube channel, so make sure you go check that out. He does get a little bit silly. He's one of my favorite content creators. I really enjoy spending time watching him and watching his thoughts. He's a very blunt guy as well. Like, he'll tell you what he thinks, and he'll just be very flat about it. So I really like that from Nilly. So if that sounds like something that might be up your alley, go check that out. He does a lot of AoE 4 content, AoE 2 content as well. And we're going to keep watching and see what he has in store for us. So I'm going to be getting that forestry upgrade as well. Keep in mind, they're for free. It only takes time, but obviously you can only get the Age 1 upgrades here. So this is an Age 2 upgrade, the Horticulture upgrade, as well as Double Broad Axe Age 2. And of course, Mining or Specialized Pick is also going to be an Age 2 upgrade. So we'll expect to see when Nilly reaches the second age that he's immediately going to research all of those super duper good techs. His opponent, however, we'll take a look at what he's up to. So doing a bit of a water boom in the middle of the map. So playing the French are considered at the moment to be one of the stronger civs. I would have them in my top 3 at the moment. The Deli, not so much. bottom 3 for the Delhi, but they're still pretty decent, better than China, better than the Holy Roman Empire, at least at the moment, and part of the reason why is just because of those early scholars, and sanctity. You can actually get out onto the map, take these sacred sites. You can see down to the south. Look at this is beautiful. I'll tell you what, if I was playing on this map, I would be going right down here, just stick up a couple of towers in between this, and you are absolutely Gucci. There's no way anyone's taken those off you in the early game. So definitely something to consider. Tower of Victory now going to be going up for Nilly. He makes it all the way up, and he's going to be aging up just shy of 5 minutes 20. Now going to begin making out some spears, and also going to be adding in a second town center. So stone outcropping. So one of the things to be very aware of is if you're ever scouting out your opponent. So here we can see that that Mace is doing a little bit of scouting. He's going to spot this stone outcropping. Now this tells you one thing: either my opponent is gathering stone with the intention of building stone walls, and on a map like this, probably unlikely. And option number 2 is that they're actually going to be making a second town center. So I do have a theory. It's probably going to be a second town center. We'll see how his opponent reacts to it and spot what Mace actually does. He's going to be dropping down a mill on his berries. No second town center for him. You can see a little bit of I wouldn't say necessarily miss macro, but the fact that, okay, you've got 8 villagers that are on food. You don't need 8 villagers on food. Not when you've got 9 fishing boats gathering up food. It's a little bit of... I would definitely say this is a miss macro at this point. So he needs to reallocate his villagers out, whether it gets a few more villagers over on wood, gets a few more villagers here over on gold. But these villagers definitely need to be doing something different. Especially against the French, it's a little bit dangerous to be going early second town center, but it's not a particularly early town center. I mean... obviously, with regard to the game, it's quite early to be dropping down the town center at about the 7-minute mark, but we do see players dropping down town centers sometimes even as early as, say, 4:50 for 5 minutes. So you can rush a town center, so that against the French, not advisable, but the fact he's got out a couple of spears, it means that he's going to be able to drop down this town center. You can see he's got more than enough resources for it now, so probably going to be dropping down the town center either back here is a good spot or up here towards the front, which is going to be where he goes for it. So a nice little spot. Typically when you're dropping a town center, go for 2 resources. So I like a tree line and deer. If you can find a tree line, a deer and berries, then you're talking. So right here would be perfect. You'd stick that town center right there. It's a little bit far away though, so sometimes you'd have to prioritize safety. And sometimes we do see players, especially against the French, really prioritize safety and just drop their second TC, you know, right on, just on a wood line. Something like that. But Nilly going a little bit more greedy, and he can do that because he's got these spears out nice and early. So Scout going to continue scouting out his opponent. Mace looking pretty decent at the moment. Very happy with his early food economy. But do note, these villagers still out over here on food. He is not readjusted yet. I would have to take a look at Mace and say, hey, Mace, you've got to pick up your game, son. This ain't pretty. And he is queuing up some archers now. And probably going to be looking to transition into that all-important third age. But now he actually sees he's going to be dropping down a stone outcropping. So going to be doing that with his villagers that were underneath here. Also going to be gathering up more gold, rallying out towards it, dropping the house. So we can expect that he's probably going to be looking at a second town center with all of these villagers. But my question is, I don't think he's able to maintain production at 2 archery ranges with this many villagers on wood and manage to save up for a town center. You probably need about 3 villagers on stone, and then the rest of those going over to wood. Yes, I'm going to lay down another lumber camp, so he's not doing too badly, but doing a great job of just scouting out Nilly's base and spotting what's going on. But Nilly now going to have that second town center up. Going to be feeling pretty good about himself. We do see these researchers coming through, so specialized pick is going to be coming through. Also got double broadaxe coming through for the Delhi, and now of course horticulture coming through for the Delhi as well. So getting all 3 of those primary upgrades. Keep in mind he's already got that veteran upgrade or that hardened upgrade, and now going to be dropping down another mosque. Now mosques are pretty damn expensive. Well, not mosques are expensive, but the scholars are expensive. Now he's actually filled out this scholar with full price scholars, or rather he's filled out this mosque with full price scholars, and that's not something that you do see very often. So going for the Tower of Victory here. Let's talk a little bit about this landmark, about the way that it works. So this landmark, your units have to be near the landmark and they gain this buff. You see that they've got this buff here. So these units here, they've already got it. So I think if they move within the AoE, then they get the buff. So you can see it there. So the way that it works is once they've moved into it, it's going to buff them up for the rest of their life, for the rest of the game. So that is an attack speed buff. Now, it says on the landmark that it is about 15%, and that is actually true. So it says permanently gain about 15% attack speed, but it affects units differently. So as an example, the men-at-arms, it doesn't actually buff them up. So if you get a men-at-arms and you put it underneath here, it technically does buff them up, but it doesn't change their stats at all. Now we've got a little bit of a raid coming down from Mace around the edge of the base. It's a little bit dangerous. He doesn't know too much about what his opponent is up to. You can see that there could definitely be a stable behind here, but Nilly going to be placing down an outpost. So instead of opting for just going on a safer tree line, he's going to put down an outpost here. I do kind of like this play. I think it's reasonable, especially as the Delhi Sultanate, to be continually looking at multiple sets of resources. You don't have anything that can really be buffing you up, so there's no point in going and just putting, you know, as an example, Chinese. They're going to be able to very easily just sit here with an Imperial official buffing this bad boy up, but obviously Mace is going to be scouting him out, making sure that he's putting this up, because as the Delhi, he's going to be capable of doing it. Now, speaking of Mace going up to the next stage. Going to be going up probably with the Guild Hall. Indeed, he's going up with the Guild Hall. And now some archers beginning to trade out Nilly's archers against Mace's on the back line. He is going to be able to fall back towards that outpost, and you can see just how much damage it does. 8 archers remain, and he's got to be careful here, Nilly. A couple villagers out on the extremities, and Mace is probably going to pick this up. You actually see he's walking right up to the archers. Is he going to get that shot off? Yeah, he does. So essentially the way that this works is you want to move right up to the archers before firing, because your enemy, as soon as your arrows land, your enemy is going to get an attack warning. So what's he doing? He's walking all the way up to the archers and then firing at them at the last second. That way he guarantees that he's able to get damage out. Now we see hardened spearmen. Look how much damage they're able to take. A full volley they're able to soak from these archers. So he's having a tough time right now. The spearmen doing a pretty decent job. And I gotta say, I like the aesthetics of the Delhi spearman. He looks super duper cool. I like his little shirt. It's a silver shirt. He kind of looks like a veteran spearman already. But Spear's gonna be doing their best to kill those archers. Wolf getting in on the action as well. Bit of the bitey infantry. He might actually be able to take this this archer down. He's got another 10 hits to kill him. Let's take a look and see. He's gonna try and chase him away. But now, Mace reaching the 3rd age. Going to be dropping down a whole bunch of stables, so double stable. Keep in mind, he's already got that 1 stable as well. Going to be researching veteran Royal Knights. And with that double stable, also getting up a monastery as well. So going to be looking to pick up those relics around the map. So there's a relic just here to the north, another relic up here, and of course, a relic all the way down to the south on the sacred site. Another relic on Nilly's side, just over the side of the, I'd say over the bridge or over the water. Got a bit of a fight happening somewhere. I think they're just taking out the wolf. And of course, a relic down here where Nilly is. So, taking a look from Nilly's perspective, you can see he's beginning to sort of move out all over the map, really taking advantage of these berries. Keep in mind, with this buff, it's really going to make his food here last longer. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Typically, this would be 2,000 food. Now it's going to be 4,000 food, so it's going to last him a lot longer. Continuing to get scholars out though, so take a look at this. He's up to 5 scholars now. Going to be adding in a 6th scholar. There's a lot of interesting, unique technologies available to the Delhi, and part of that is in the House of Learning. So now that Nilly is going up to the 3rd age, House of Learning is going to be providing a lot of cool techs. So most importantly, I think it's called the Owning Blade, Honing. I'm not sure exactly what it's called, but it is an incredibly strong tech, providing +3 attack to both men-at-arms and knights. So it gives them a nice little buff. So owned blades rather than owning blades is the name of that tech. They've also got a nice little buff in the 4th age, in Imperial Age, which increases the resource carried from villagers. So it's basically like an advanced wheelbarrow. So obviously we talked about wheelbarrow earlier. It enables your villagers to gather slightly more resources before they walk back. So with the House of Learning, so you get access to that. There's a couple other cool techs like increased line of sight on the outpost, but really not that cool when it comes to, you know, an objective way to improve your economy or to improve your ability to win the game. So we'll take a look at those techs now. So Own Blade going to appear right here. Looks like these archers going to get picked off. So there's Owned Blades. So we can see +3 damage coming in. But in this one here, so it's called Hearty Rations, increases the carry capacity of villagers by +5. So it's like a second form of wheelbarrow. Another cool one is this one right here. Houses and town centers grant an additional +5 maximum population. So if you ever get to 100 population, you can just research that one straight away, and it will take you all the way up to 200. You can see it only takes 40 seconds to research, so very, very quick to come in. Now, keep in mind, Nili has got 6 garrisoned scholars at the moment, and each scholar that he's got is going to reduce the time it takes for his technologies to actually research. So all of his techs are free, and then it's going to be reducing the time that it takes based on those scholars. So you can see here, scholars garrisoned in the mosque are added to active scholars. Active scholars research technologies across the civilization, and it reduces it. So once again, the number is incorrect. It's not 12.5%. Grubby has taught me a lot about that, and he said it's not actually 12.5%. It is, I don't actually know how it works. All I know is that it's not correct. And now his opponent, Mace, looking to actually push out with a pretty decent mass here. Got the Mangonel out, got the Springald out. Archer Knight, nice little combination there. Very difficult to deal with, especially when Siege gets thrown in. But now we've got ourselves a little bit of a Springald fest coming in, ladies and gentlemen. You love it. You love to see it. You really do. Archers out here as well. Crossbowmen coming in from the archery ranges. And Nili really looking to capitalize on the damage that he can do to his opponent with these Springalds. So I really want to see him get this second Siege Workshop out. I want to see those mass Springalds begin. So first Springald out. Royal Knights looking to position themselves on the battlefield. Balanced projectiles completed. So Nili looking pretty decent at the moment, getting all those upgrades. Now we do see that Siege Workshop coming in, and you can see how many units he's got queued up in this. He wants those Springalds out yesterday. Now keep in mind, he can actually garrison inside of this. He can garrison a Scholar, and that's actually going to reduce the training time by 50%. So that Springald would go from 30 seconds down to 15 seconds. So hopefully Nili picks up on that, moves a Scholar in from his landmark over towards these bad boys right here. But decent mass beginning to build for him. He's got veteran archers in. Springald now going to be firing off on those villagers and taking them out. We see 2 Springalds back there. And I don't know if you really want to be getting into a Springald war with Nili. He seems like quite the beast when it comes to the Springald. We'll be taking a look over at his opponent's base now. Adding in plenty of farms here. Looks like they've exhausted that gold mine there completely. Look at all these beautiful farms. French player is absolutely doing perfectly right now. Definitely feeling good about himself with all the economy he's got going. But now the ram is going to begin barreling down on the town center from Nili. This is the 3rd town center Nili's got. Nili sitting up on... Actually, that's Mace. Is Mace sitting on 101 vills? Mace on 101 vills, Nili on 86, despite Mace only having 2 TCs. But now posturing around for this fight. A lot of knights out. You've got to be really careful with those spears. Archers looking to do their best on the front. And the back line of Nili actually getting shredded up there by the French Springalds. They're looking to continue trading out with these knights and get damage onto the back line. But unfortunately, it looks like these Springalds are in a tough position. Mangonel here as well. Going to begin firing off. And Nili might be going down here as the knights continue to run in. It's actually got a pretty decent mass. He's got to be careful now. The Mangonel shot. We're going to highlight the HP so you guys can see just how much damage goes down on that freaking Mangonel shot, baby. Holy God, that is so much damage, man. That is so much damage. But I don't think it would have mattered because the second shot comes in as well. And Nili looking like he might be in a bit of trouble here as that Mangonel shot really just, it does so much. You can just see the power of the Mangonel. And that's why 3 Mangos is considered the ultimate siege weaponry, because 3 Mangonels can one-shot an entire army in the blink of an eye. And it looks like Nili going to be falling back onto the back foot now, continuing to defend with Springalds. He's got 3 of them out. Needs to get these scholars down towards this siege workshop. Trying his best, but undoubtedly he's going to be macroing on the back line, so not really spotting on the front line that the Mangonel fired off, and now getting off another shot. Not a lot of units here left for it to hit, but Nili's got to try and turn these Springalds around, get them out. Outpost still sitting here idly, waiting to be tapped away at by a villager. He's got a couple of resources in the bank. Now beginning to fire off with the Springalds. Going to be able to take out that Mangonel. Let's see if he gets the shots on it. He's not focusing the Mangonels like he needs to. Okay, now we're going to be focusing it down. He's not going to be in a terrible spot here. Mangonel looking to get the shot back. Look how long that Mangonel is. It's looks like it's got a target on it, like a long-range target. Villagers now garrisoning inside the town center, looking to take Nilly back, but Nilly in a very difficult spot here as his enemy pushes into his base. Keep in mind, he does have both +2 range attack as well as +2 attack, so dealing a huge amount of, or +2 range defense, I apologize. And Nilly going to be trying his best. Royal Knights now going to be piling in, and look at the units that are just trickling in across the base, all from this fish economy that started out. And you can see, one of the things to note, just for anybody wondering, you can't actually go underneath these bridges, even with your fishing boats. Even with your fishing boats, you can't get underneath them. Look at the Mangonel. Mangonel now really going to be sealing the deal. Nearly going for a defensive keep, hoping that this keep is going to be able to save him. But look at all the villagers just going down to all the knights. At the end of the day, Nilly taps out, calling good game. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching this on YouTube, I hope you enjoyed this cast. And this little look at the meme build from Nilly. Look, I'm not going to call it a meme build, but he did go the Tower of Victory, and I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. Anyway, make sure you check out Nilly. I'll leave a link in the description as well as in the pinned comment. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.